Okay, Alan, She-Hulk episode 8 has arrived. Daredevil is in the show. Give us your quick thoughts.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've stuck my neck out for the show, and it has finally let me down. And I will give you the moment. I will give you the moment of the show that just turned me. Okay. So we've got Leapfrog here. He got a suit from the tailor, the designer of Jen's outfit, costume, and there's these rocket jets, and while he's trying to escape the bad guys, the rocket jets in his boots catch fire, and he gets third-degree burns on his feet. And he insists that Jen's firm and Jen herself sues her stylist, her costume designer, and so they go to court, and they discuss the legal ramifications of. They're basically the villain here is product liability, and then it's revealed that that Leapfrog had been using jet fuel in his boots instead of regular fuel or whatever boot fuel has. So it's revealed in court, and Jen is left looking like a fool, which in my mind just basically said, wow, Jen Walters is the worst lawyer in the world. How is it that she didn't know this? How is it that she was so unprepared by this case? And how is it that she allowed herself to become a fool in a courthouse? And it was at that moment I realized this is not a legal. No one on this staff is a lawyer. Clearly, no one's ever. Yeah, it's like she is a bad lawyer. She is a bad lawyer, and it was all just thrown out here. And then later on, she goes on to win Female Lawyer of the Year, which in itself set off a whole bunch of other issues I had with it, and I think you Chris, you talked about that she's a flawed character. Yeah, one of her big flaws is being a bad lawyer. But the thing is I feel like I've come to the realization that yes, she's a flawed character, but the showrunner and the writers do not know that she's a flawed character, and by their writing they've made her flawed, and they don't even see it. And so yeah, I'm done.
All right. Well, without getting into the story, because you kind of talked about it, it was a terrible episode. The guy who played Leapfrog was awful, and he had like these henchmen or goons, and they had a whole conversation about the difference between henchmen and goons. The guy who played Leapfrog, never seen him before. It was a huge opportunity for some interesting casting. They could have cast like a recognizable actor in that role that would have added something to it. Maybe even some comedy, because he wasn't funny. And then for no reason, Daredevil now has a different suit that's kind of based on the original suit he had from the comics, kind of going backwards. And then the thing that really annoyed me, I'm not going to like nitpick all the like that the action was stupid, that the story is stupid, that like, okay, does the tailor now know all the characters who have secret identities? Does he know who Matt Murdock is? Because Matt Murdock is a customer and he's defending him. I find that a little suspicious. But Daredevil and Jen Walters, Matt Murdock and Jen Walters sleep together. They sleep. Who is Jen Walters?
They didn't even go out on a date.
They didn't go out on a date. They're like, skip the date. Let's just bang. And they went back to her apartment and banged, and that was it. And he did the walk of shame in his Daredevil costume. It's like, I know people said they're going to ruin Daredevil. They're going to ruin Daredevil, but they did. You can't take this character seriously now. And when has Matt Murdock just sort of, casually slept with women? Correct me if I'm wrong, watching the original Netflix series, he seemed like he took his relationships much more seriously and didn't just leap into bed with a woman he's just met. And now is this going to carry over to the movies where we're going to get an Avengers movie and there'll be some awkwardness between Daredevil and She-Hulk because they slept together in the show. I thought it was terrible, embarrassing, and whatever promise the show held, that we saw in the beginning is completely wiped away. Then it ends with this, she's lawyer of the year, but then realizes she's on stage with like 10 other women all getting lawyer of the year because it's just some, scam. And then this sort of anonymous type message comes up. I know people are saying it's Doomcock. It does kind of look like his mask, but I think it's more based on anonymous. I think you're giving them too much credit that they would, the writers on the show would even know who Doomcock is. But the mask does seem a little Doomcockish, so you could convince me.
I was seeing kind of Pepe the Frog in there.
Pepe the Frog.
Pepe, yeah, the symbol of QAnon.
I've seen the documentary.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just say that they feel like. I feel like what we liked about the series was there by accident. That maybe they were throwing things in there that were clever, but then I'm realizing, well, maybe I'll bring up the point of the female lawyer of the year. There's one lawyer who, while receiving the award, she begins to complain about why there is even a category of female lawyer of the year and not lawyer of the year. They bring that on. It's a really good comment, and then they just let it go. It's like they brought up an interesting point, and then just let it float out there and disappear in the atmosphere. And if I was a good writer, I would have picked up on that, and I would have done something with that other than just make a comment about it.
Yeah. This again, another missed opportunity, and I don't even know what to say. It's just I'm not invested anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's clear the show doesn't like its audience. The main audience is the people who grew up reading She-Hulk. For the most part, I'd say male comic book readers. And the show hates them. And not only that, the show hates Marvel fans. It's just bizarre.
It's not for Marvel fans.
What's that?
It's not for Marvel fans. It's not written for Marvel fans. It's written for a feminist audience.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: Why did Matt Murdock have to do the walk of shame? They hooked up. What is it about him that he had to walk out on her? I know. I don't understand hookup culture. I don't understand hookup culture at all, and she's fully embraced it.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, I think this is. I just think it's a terrible. So now you've got like a Marvel superhero, She-Hulk. How many guys has she slept with in the show now? 3.
Yeah, all on the first dates. All on first dates.
Yeah, all on first dates. She slept with 3 men. I don't know. Is this the show? If the show is not for male Marvel fans, is this for female Marvel fans? And kind of a way to go, well, Jen Walters did it in the TV show. I'll just sleep around.
Yeah. Well, I keep thinking, what would I tell my daughter? And it was like, here's how not to be a woman in modern America. And don't be like Jen Walters. Please get to know somebody before, preferably get married to them before you have sex.
Well, I just think that it's a, I don't know, what does she want? She just wants to sleep with guys. She doesn't want a boyfriend or whatever. Not that doesn't matter, and I'm no prude. Okay. But I'm just thinking like, okay, we haven't really gotten into, Tony Stark was also a guy who, slept with a lot of women. Finally kind of grew past that and became a responsible father and married man. Right. So maybe that's the pathway she's on, but I just think it's a bit much. It's a bit much, and it's not working for me.